I don't like the rope because there are people that start developing all different patterns and tricks and all sorts. And for me, it's not about any tricks. It's literally about how can I train to be more functional and efficient, and how can I use this tool? So when I teach it, I've got courses online and coaches courses and stuff. It's all about using it for practical purposes. It's not about flashy tricks or anything like that. Like sometimes when I'm rolling and I put up a video, I might be like expressive with it, but for the most part, it's like it's a tool to make me a better athlete, and that's all I want to use it for, and that's all I try and coach it for. But it at its core, when you're swinging it, just to go back to it, there's a figure of 8 path, isn't there, that you find of movement. That's when I say figure of 8, I mean infinity, which is the horizontal kind of figure of 8, where when you're moving on that path, there's no end, because the way when we think of sprinting or moving, like you swing your arm, you stop swinging it, and then you swing it back, and then you stop swinging it and swing it forward. Now there you're having to use effort to stop the swing and then change direction. Whereas when you're on the infinity symbol path of movement with all your joints, which when you roll rope and you really tune into it, you can close your eyes and tune into each body part. Every joint is doing your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, your spine, especially your ribs, even down to your ankle. If you go onto one leg, you close your eyes and you roll the rope in the underhand motion, which is where you essentially just swing it from side to side in the underhand roll. Every joint does a figure of 8. It puts a figure 8 through that every joint, and that's how the body is designed to move. We're not meant to be robots. We've not got hinges. We've not got like hinge elbow. Well, their elbow is a bit of a hinge, I guess, but generally we're made to function with rotation. It drives everything. Rotation kind of drives every movement, and the more you get into biomechanical stuff and kettlebells, when you're pulling it, like if you add rotation, it's the catalyst for movement for every direction. And that's why it calls it RMT, rotational movement training. So it puts this figure 8 path, and then there's also spirals coming after that. So when you start to sneak, what the sneak is the spine's doing a figure of 8. And if you drag and roll, you're doing this open and close, aren't you? Open the chest, close the chest, which is cool for what it is. And the spine's doing the figure of 8. But when you add the sneak in, the energy, there's a figure of 8 going off from your ribs. The energy shooting down the arm. Now, if you just do drag and roll, you're stopping and starting. Whereas the sneak allows the spiral to happen, and it becomes a whip then. And the whip goes out down the hand, and then you can come in the other hand. And that's when we do tandem sneak, which is where you're doing underhand sneak on one arm and overhand sneak on the other, because it's just the figure of 8 path is creating energy and sending it out through your limbs, and then it goes out down the rope. But you can, because of the ropes there, it's highlighting where the energy is going, and you can feel the whip into it. So it's just, I think it's really untapped and hard to express. Yeah. But I'm hoping I'm doing some job of expressing what it does, and it just tunes us into that natural path of movement that's there for us to tune into. And when and like you say, when you experience it, you're like, man, there's something profound to it.
Well, as you're explaining this, I'm thinking, one, this is a fantastic explanation, and two, you don't need it to be explained. You know, it's nice to explain it. But I mean, like, I didn't know anything. I didn't understand. Like, that's the first I'm hearing, because of course your way of the rope logo or symbol is that infinity symbol, and I've seen you talk about it, seen Weck talk about it, but I didn't understand what it meant. So I've been training with the rope for years, getting benefit from it, but I've never heard. Yeah, you know. So the beauty of the rope, because a lot of people may listen to that and go, damn, you know, the all of these crazy names and techniques, and like I've got to have spiral in my shoulder and my knees and my ankles, and go, but you don't need to worry about any of that, because by doing it, you will be going through all of that without having to consciously focus on it. And that's what it does, is it simplifies. You know, imagine trying to get that rotation in every single one of your joints at the same time without a rope. You know, it would be almost impossible to do.
You can't time the left and right hand to do the same thing at the same time, but the rope gives you that feedback. It's like the cup and the string, like talking to each other, the left and right side.
So, like, I thought that was a fantastic, like, the perfect explanation.
And I think that's so many people, like, they've played with the rope and they feel something, but you have to commit to trying to understand it. It doesn't matter if you don't, but like, you're forced to sit here and listen to me talk about it, and you're like, damn, yeah, I do get what you're talking about now. Yeah, and when you do in the club, that's shoulder spirals, and then you're trying to flow the momentum so that
Yeah.
you're not just cutting yourself off.